Hey, what up? What up? Just want to make a quick video. This video, again, this video is gonna be about people, or an example of people we should keep ostracized, from our community. And obviously we know, you know, Kanye West, came out yesterday in his tweets, bigging up or promoting Donald Trump and support and all that stuff. You know, he's been lost for a while. I've been knew that he's been lost for a while, and it's like he dropped his soul somewhere. But we all knew that. At least I did. I wasn't surprised that he was promoting Donald Trump or bigging up um, his brand or his campaign or what he stands for. I wasn't surprised. But even more to that, even more problematic to that, you had this girl named, or this woman named Candace Owens, who was an African American, black, which really is the preface of my video today, and that kind of mentality, her kind of mentality, and we as blacks, we should start, finding and knowing which kind of people we should ostracize from our community and who should be, labeled as an example. She is a perfect person to ostracize and make as an example of how to identify people that's not for us. Not only people like Kanye West, which is obvious, but people like Candace Owens. She is what you call, it's easy to call her a coon, a Sambo coon. Those are easy words, to label her as. That's easy. But even more to that, she is what you call an educated Negro. She is what I would call an educated Negro. It's not just she's not just a coon. She's not just a Sambo, if that's the other word, or a race trader. She is a race trader, but she's more sophisticated than just than any ordinary coon. You know what I'm saying? She is what you call an educated Negro, in my opinion. And those type of people, if I were to define that, those are people who are who use Western ideals in education to I guess downplay their people. You know, they use education as an excuse to not be for the people, or they use education as an excuse to kind of bring up a reason as to why they are not for the people, or they're never for the people in the first place. You know what I'm saying? They use education as an excuse to give a reason why they are brainwashed. You know what I'm saying? Subconsciously. You know what I'm saying? They might not see themselves, or they have issues with themselves. You know what I'm saying? But they use education as a tool to to downplay the people and big up the other society, or an external group from them. You know what I'm saying? And another way to identify them, those people who are educated, quote unquote educated Negroes, they're usually well articulate and well spoken. You know what I'm saying? They use education to separate themselves from their own. You know, you know what I'm saying? They use education to make it seem like they are better than their own. Basically what they are is they are panderers for the I guess quote unquote the higher class. There's not many blacks who are in the higher class. You know what I'm saying? We're not. There's not many of us. So what they are is a panderer for the higher class. They're like they cape for the higher class basically, because they want to be part of that system, that part of that society. They want to be looked as people of the higher class. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be looked as themselves black. That's exactly what Candace Owens is. You know. Not only they pander for the higher class, but they align their ideals with the higher class. Exactly. They hide their ideals with the higher class, and they usually are liberal thinkers. And which means they usually align their ideals with the rhetoric of equality, and everyone's the same. Everyone should be integrated. So that is what you call a educated Negro. They usually went to college. They usually got their 4-year degree, or they probably went to college for about 6 years. They got their degree, their bachelor's, and they got their master's, and they probably got their doctors also. Depending on how long they went to school. But they usually are an educated person, meaning they went to school, they went to college. So these people, you gotta know how to identify these types of people. They usually are well spoken and well articulated. So they may so the way they speak, they may seem like they're or to the naked eye, it may seem like they're like a someone of great substance. You know what I'm saying? So it must be important to keep in mind that these type of people, category of people, they are only just educated people. So meaning they're only given what they are taught. You know what I'm saying? They're only given what they are taught. Meaning they only are given, or you can say they're only taught what the dominant society wants them to think. So most of the times, a lot of these educated Negroes, they don't think for themselves. Meaning they don't use their. I'm not saying they don't have critical thinking, but it's like they don't use it. You know what I'm saying? They don't use critical thinking. Basically, in other words, a lot of these educated Negroes are not smart. They are not smart. They are not wise. But they are educated. They are well spoken, but they are not smart. They are a lot of them are dumb, in my in my opinion. They are not smart. So Western education is it's education which the dominant society puts out there, and basically they teach you what they want you to know. They're not going to give you everything, but they're going to give you just enough for you to know things that serve them. Things that serve them. So basically, you're not getting a full scope of education of the things that you really need to know, but they're going to tell you the things that they want you to know, and which is where we fall, because at that point we are only being further brainwashed by their ideologies. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these Negroes, educated Negroes, they're a detriment to us. They're a detriment to us because a lot of these times the educated Negroes are going to be propagating or promoting the same fictitious liberal ideals of Western society. You know, they're gonna be promoting the same thing, and it's worse when the people that look like you are propagating these same, you know, fictitious ideals of equality, which is, you know, obviously not a reality. It will never be a reality, you know. But they will propagate those same liberal ideals. You know what I'm saying? So it goes to say, like, people like Candace Owens, she needs to be ostracized, especially what she said in the UCLA video where she disrespected the ancestors. You know, our ancestors, the people that came before us, our elders, the people that died during the times that we were, you know, some people saying enslaved. You could say enslaved or prisoners of war, whatever. But the time during we were enslaved, she straight disrespected us. You know, she said that, you know, we should forget about that type of things, and black people should look forward, and the only people that look at those type of things are people who want to live in the past and who don't want to be who don't want to be victorious in life and stuff. That's me just summarizing what she said, but she straight disrespected us. In the video, you'll see it more candidly of how she said it and how disrespectful she was about our ancestors and stuff. And she basically proved why she basically proved why I said what I was talking about. You know, she's just a dumb, educated Negro. She's very dumb because if she really understood history and throughout the timeline of history, she'll understand that in order for you to get better, simple wisdom. In order for you to get better, you have to understand where you came from. You know, you can't get better if you don't know exactly where you came from. You know, she's acting like, you know, whites had no you know, she's acting like the whites today are any different than they were before. There's no difference. There's no different in terms of people, white people today and white people yesterday. There's no difference. You know, we may live with quote unquote more liberty, but there's no difference. And the reason why I say that is because I don't want to go too far on a tangent as to why we got out of slavery as blacks, but it was not for economical reasons. That's all I'm gonna say. The reason why we got out of slavery was not for economical reasons. You know, it was not for that. You know, if I wanted to go deeper, it was for more. It was for a different reason. And if and not to go too far, but the reason why we actually got out of slavery was because of spiritual reasons. Spiritual reasons, you know. The reason why we got out of slavery is because if whites were to continue that type of that kind of treatment onto us, they would have got wiped out themselves. You know, they would have got wiped out themselves. And that's not to go too far on a tangent, but that's the main reason. But besides that, you know, she is a detriment to our community. That type of thought process, you know, to disrespect and disregard our ancestors is beyond it's kind of beyond repair what she said, you know. But she's the kind of people that we need to ostracize from our community. She needs to be set as an example because what she said in front of not only a crowd of, you know, people like us blacks, but also whites in the crowd too, you know. Another thing is just to piggyback on how to identify usually an educated Negro or someone like a Candace. They usually date outside their race, and that's just what it is. You know, it is what it is. Some people don't have are not against it. You know, some people are, some people are not. But just simply come out straight of it. You know, usually people who hold these type of ideals usually have dated outside. You know, or sometimes usually exclusively date outside, and I'm not surprised. You know, I'm not surprised. So I'm gonna probably put the video of Candace Owens um, in the link. I'll probably put the link in the description box, and I'll probably put it in the video so you can see what I'm talking about, and for you to see exactly what type of people that we should avoid and should be put as example. You know, she's very disrespectful, very disrespectful. These side people, very disrespectful. You know, so please like and subscribe, share the video, and I hit you back up later. So thank you.
What you're seeing happening today, obviously, we have some black people that are just shouting in the back. We have some black people that are sitting in the front quietly that are chanting USA and having a normal conversation. I love that because what I say every single time, and you may have seen me on the news, is that what is happening right now in the black community, you're going to hear it in this room first. There is an ideological civil war happening. Black people that are focused on their past and shouting about slavery, and black people that are focused on their futures. Okay, that's really what it comes down to. Okay. I can guarantee you what you're seeing happening is victim mentality versus victor mentality.
That's
and I promise
great, by
you,
the way.
the
I love
people
that.
here are
Isn't
going
that
to
great?
win.
I love that.
And there's no doubt in my mind. I can tell you right now who is going to be better off when we look 20 years and we look at the faces in this room. Who is going to be better off are the girls that are sitting right here and across this room because they don't have your mentality. Victim mentality is not cool. I don't know why people like being oppressed. It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I love oppression. We're oppressed. 400 years of slavery, Jim Crow, which by the way, none of you guys lived through. Your grandparents did. And it's embarrassing that you utilize their history. You utilize their history and you come in here with more emotion than they ever had when they were living through it. More emotion than they ever had when they were living through it. It's embarrassing. You're not living through anything right now. You're overly privileged Americans.
Sharpton, he basically acknowledged the fact that no matter what you do for black people, if you do not marry a black person, then everything you did doesn't count and you are a traitor. When people speak to you like this, you need to turn off the TV. As a black community and as a black person, I've dated within my race, I did it outside of my race. Your highest priority as a human being should be to marry someone who thinks like you, to marry someone that will bring you the successes that you desire in your own life, and to turn off the absolute garbage that tells you differently. That is the end of my Candace rant about why I do not support